it went from this. Now here's the deal. We're back at it. All right, guys, so it's time to put the water pump on. And the whole reason why we're here in the first place. Boom. And we're in there like swimwear. You see that? That goes right into. He bought one of these for me to replace, and I'm like, dude, the water pump comes with one. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to dress it up, put the timing chain on and everything like that. So, and here's the deal. It'll be a way better example of how to show you that this thing is in time. So let's go ahead and get our belongings. Made a little bit of a mess here for the last thing, and which, you know, just so happens to be one of my favorite parts of the entire ordeal. So go down here, and she goes right there, just like this. Looking pretty. Okay, so here's the deal. Once you tighten everything, check everything, and then check everything again, and then torque it, and then check it one more time, and then we can put the chain on, which is where we're at now. So, which brings us to this. So here's the deal. It's quite simple on how this fits on here. See that? Allow me to show you. All right, so that one is looking good. So just like that, those two are gonna line up, and then those two are gonna line up, and it's gonna look like that. So then we gotta go down here and line those up, which, as you can see, we're almost there. Before we put everything together, I'm gonna rotate this engine a few times and then make sure that we are still lined up. All right, so if my calculations are correct, we're gonna be all in time right now. We're right on position, baby. Here's a stitch on this whole scenario. How we're gonna do this is we're gonna hit both sides. I'm gonna hit the engine itself with this, and then we're gonna go to the timing cover. Here's the deal. The hardest thing about this part is this back area right here. So you gotta get it like in between these lines and then just smooth it out here so it doesn't touch anything, which is almost impossible. So that's why we hit both sides. This is the joys of working in Tulsa. Yeah, just a Tuesday. So, and here's the deal. If you got long hair like mine, you make sure you put it back, because I got freaking gasket maker all in it. Anyway, we're pretty well good on both sides. So now we can go ahead and put this timing cover on. So, boom. Yeah. So like I said, it's a little bit difficult. It kind of feels a little more challenging once you are like actually doing it. Versus we had like a couple practice runs, you know what I mean? I thought I did pretty well. But again, it's a little bit different when you're in the field. All right. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. All right, so here's the deal. We got 100 bolts to put in. So I'll meet you back at once we're done with all that and we're up here, okay? All right, so here's the deal. It's valve cover time. Like, we're literally almost done. I'm excited to start this thing. All right, so now I'm sure you can remember. We just tighten all these things. So it's one down, one to go. Okay, so now that we got the tensioner on, the last thing is this, well, it's not the last thing, but motor mount. Okay, so I put the motor mount on and it's not lining up with the bolt holes at all. So I'm not sure if it got broken or... No, I'm just joking. Gotcha. Well, it's starting to get a little dark out here and we've still got probably about another hour's worth of work. So it's probably going to be pitch dark by the time we're done. All right, so we're getting closer. Here, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting to the bare minimum of this whole job, in which I am happy to tell you I am relieved. Okay? And the plugins will go back exactly where they're supposed to go. So we're just gonna put these all on in here. All right, so time for the intake. So it's just like this. Just like this. Alrighty, and this can go over here. We can zip these on down. This can go over here. Okay guys, well guess what? We made it. So we're at the stage where we just need to fill it and run the sucker. All right, so this is the amount that will fill the reservoir. So we're just gonna let that drain. There you go. Drink it up. Fa la 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 la. Ladies and gentlemen, well, we've made it. It is time to start this thing. I know what you're thinking. I'm just as nervous, okay? But let's do it. 3, 2. Alrighty. Man, that sounds smooth. Goodness gracious, that sounds good. I'm gonna kill it real quick and check fluids, and then we're gonna run it for about an hour. No engine lights or nothing. It looks like we are good to go. Well, here's the deal, ladies and gents. We have terrible, terrible news. Oh no. Dun dun dun. Well, isn't this lovely? I didn't have the cap on the drain pan I was using, and as it was pouring in, it was pouring out. So that's terrific. Alright, so here's the deal. Because of yesterday, this thing still had quite a bit of coolant in it, if you will. So I'm hoping I'm hoping it's not the head gasket. I'm hoping the whole time that his other mechanic told him it was the water pump, that it wasn't the head gasket. But fingers crossed. Anyways, I got some cheap oil and a new oil filter, and then we got some flush. So I'm gonna flush the system out, redo our attempt. If it does it again, then I'm gonna have to test that head gasket, which is pretty simple, but I don't really think that's what it is. I think it's just got some moisture in it. Normally they don't build up that crazily. I mean, I drained all the fluid, but I guess there's still some stuck in there, so about to find out. I'm interested on what comes out of this filter. Yeah, that's so good. Holy cow. So it's just like dripping out that yucky stuff, so I'm hoping one flush will do it. That was with the new filter as well. I didn't obviously put, you know what I mean, new oil in with an old filter. Alright, so this stuff is actually pretty good stuff. I personally use MOA, but this stuff's not bad. Alright, but we have to use this entire bottle. Cap it. Let's start with this booger. Man, it does sound so great. Listen how quiet that is. Now with this stuff, you only run for like 5 minutes. MOA, you run for like 15. It's looking like it's painting it up good, so I don't think it's head gasket. Thank goodness. And so it's been 5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and kill this thing, drain it, refill it, send her on its way. Here's the deal, I just gotta tell you, it's really exciting. I get super happy when I do this is a pretty prestigious job, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, the last mechanic, he drove 2 hours to get here. The last mechanic that he had been with his entire life was just simply honest and straight up, which I appreciate, by the way, if you're watching this video, but he just told him I wasn't really comfortable with doing the work. All right, well, we're at the point of no return now. Here's the deal, I'm about to put the oil and the filter on. Well, guys, and just like that, she's ready to go. Well, we still got to put on this stupid mud. Last thing. All right, that should do it. Okay, guys, so we've been running it for about 10 minutes. I turned it off. Now we're about to check the oil. Hopefully it's not milky. This is our test to see if it was the head gasket or not. Fingers crossed. I'm not even gonna look. I'm gonna wipe it first. I'm gonna stick it back on in there, and then we're gonna take a look. Oh, it's so clean. We're just a little low. We just need a tiny bit more, but it indeed is fixed. Thank God. Okay, phew. Now I feel good. Now I feel a whole lot better about this. We have heater and everything, so now we're done. I can just pull this thing on out of here. Isn't it crazy, guys? We picked it up like this, and then now. And you know, honestly, some people will be like, okay, engine's totaled after seeing something like that, but I'm more of like a glass half full type of guy, and so I was like, well, maybe we can fix that. It went from this to this. I should probably go this way.